You gain control of J.K. Rowling's Twitter account for a day. What unnecessary piece of information do you add to Harry Potter lore? Buckbeak is an animagus who is fully intelligent and capable of turning back into a human at any time, but doesn't because it's his fetish. I love this because he was so committed he let himself be executed in the original timeline. That was his other fetish. I don't think I could top the post she made about wizards disappearing their poo with magic before muggles invented toilets. We know they were apparating it from the inside. Where it landed, nobody knows. But it probably gained sentience and mutated into a creature that only Hagrid could love. It became Umbridge. Fred and George Weasley switched places during the Battle of Hogwarts. When George died, Fred adopted George's life complete with cutting off his ear because he figured George wouldn't want him to spoil the joke. Makes sense as to why George ended up marrying Angelina Johnson when it was Fred who dated her at Hogwarts. They both dated her, she only thought she was only dating Fred. Twin win. She knew, it was only the rest of the school who was fooled. That the Queen of England is a living Horcrux and that's why she just won't die. Okay, this one is the best. She made herself a Horcrux as well as Prince Philip and she is now the most powerful witch in all of Europe. The protagonist was actually the flying car and everything after is just epilogue. Harry Potter is Cars 3. Cachao, Expecto Petroleum. Cachao Cadabra. At some point after Hogwarts, Harry Potter went crazy and started to turn people into sentient cars. Eventually his magic skills grew so much that he became able to turn the entire humanity into cars. And that's why in Cars there isn't any human around. Muggle orphanages know about magic and when an orphan shows magical prowess they phone the Ministry of Magic for pickup and leave the baby outside. The ministry hasn't figured out how voicemail works and never come to pick up the children. Well, this explains why the White Walkers keep sparing the orphanages. 10 out of 10 crossover episode. The Forbidden Forest is forbidden because Dumbledore and Hagrid have an illegal grow-up hidden inside. The wizarding school is a front to launder money. And nobody is actually at a magic school at all. They are all just stoned as duck. You just want to come to the magic school. George Weasley was adopted. Not Fred though. One of my favorite quotes from any piece of Harry Potter media comes from an interview of the actors who played Fred and George. So are you two actually twins in real life? No, it's funny. We actually met at the audition. That line kills me every time. Harry doesn't have a left pinky toe. It was the only part of him hurt by the killing curse when he was a baby and then all of us fan theorists will wonder why Lily didn't love his left pinky toe. Have you never heard the story of Achilles? Obviously Lily was holding Harry still by his left pinky toe so that part of his body never got protected by her love. Now that you mention it, why didn't Lily love the lightning bolt shaped patch of skin on Harry's forehead? Mom, can you give me a goodnight kiss? Sure honey, as long as it's not on your forehead. Why? There's a small and deliberately shaped patch of skin there which I have absolutely zero love for and I might accidentally touch that revolting thing. Ron is adopted and dyes his hair. Molly sneaks into his room at night to maintain the spell that keeps him ginger. She had a child named Ron who looked just like Ron that died. So she used Obliviate on some random kid and sneaks Polyjuice into his breakfast every morning. What if she runs out of Ron's hair? That's when she takes a shovel and pay a visit to the cemetery. Moaning Myrtle was masturbating in the bathroom when she dies, hence the name Moaning Myrtle. She was reported as crying based on what an ignorant first year claimed. Explains why she's incredibly horny for the guys. And also why the bathroom floor is always wet. The snorting hat was 100% unnecessary for class distribution. Its primary purpose was to get rid of head lice. I've got a secret affliction, Harry. In years where the hat is in an especially bad mood, it will reverse the effect, giving all of the new students head lice, requiring a massive week's undertaking with Ministry of Magic assistants to clean the entire castle. When you're using the invisible cloak, you're not actually invisible, you're naked. They just choose to ignore you as to not make things awkward. That explains why Fudge and Malfoy send Hagrid straight to Azkaban without a trial in book 2 when they walk into Hagrid's hut while Harry and Ron are hiding. Alright, so we are just going to give him a warn. Why are there two naked kids huddled in a corner? What the duck, Hagrid? Azkaban it is. Harry's favorite finger, for no particular reason, is his left index finger. Also, inexplicably, that's Ginny's as well. And strangely enough, Ginny's left index finger is Harry's favorite. The reason Dumbledore didn't bring back Harry's parents with the time turner is because Dumbledore always wanted a son of his own, but then changed his mind a few years later and dumped him at the Dursleys. That Harry voted for Trump would probably be the quickest way to irritate the biggest swath of the fan base. Yep, would definitely irritate all of the fan base that knows that Harry isn't a US citizen. After book 2, Hermione realizes she loves Harry and convinces Ginny to permanently switch with Ron's body. So Harry and Hermione end up together, and Ron and Ginny do as well, but in other bodies, so it's okay. Roll Tide. I think you meant Ginny switch with Hermione's body, Mayo. They said what they meant. That most people don't play beyond their early 20s because they develop Quidditch arsehole. Every so often a player has to retire because a snitch goes somewhere where you don't usually want a vibrating golden orb, and frankly there's no returning from that ignominy. Free prostate massage for life. Sounds great. Flash memories. Eye open at the close. Hermione was actually a collective delusion shared by Harry and Ron. And Crumb went with it because he's hugely unstable. No, Crumb's a delusion too. Harry and Ron just decide they need to feel jealousy to experience their sexual awakening, so they compile a list of attractive characteristics and make them into Victor. Harry, so, like, he plays Quidditch. And he's super famous. Ron, and his head is totally shaved and he's from somewhere hot like Bulgaria. How would that work? Hi, nice to meet you. Hi, this is a nice train. Hey, wouldn't it be weird if an annoying girl bothered us for the next 5 years until one of us falls in love with her? Harry, damn, it's an all-boys school. Well, Lefty, your name is now Hermione. Ron, hey, you named your Lefty Hermione as well? Yay. Mimes his hand speaking. Hello, I am Hermione, I like boobs. I mean books, I really like books. At the time of bringing his kids to platform 9, 3/4 at the end of the 7th book, Harry is out on bail for wizard tax evasion due to hiring Percy as his accountant. Alternatively, Harry is flat broke at the end of book 7 and lives a life of complete poverty. You see, the wizarding bank was no longer willing to do business with the man who strolled in the front door and robbed the fuck out of them. Since goblins can't use wands, they also seized all funds from Harry's vault to pay wizards to repair the damages. I had never considered how the bank robbery might have affected Harry going back to normal life post-Voldemort. I can't believe I never thought about that before. How could there be no consequences to that robbery? Goblins aren't known for their forgiving nature. Plus he wears a hat that has corks tied to strings to keep the flies away. Makes people think he's odd. A wizard without a hat was just a sad man with a suspicious taste in clothes. Hermione's first child got aborted because it wasn't Ron's. She was just experimenting with the pull-out method like any good academic would. It didn't work, but a quick fetus Deletius fixed it right up. Underneath the robe, Professor McGonagall is actually two twin dwarfs standing on each other's shoulders. They take turns being on top so the other doesn't get tired. Nobody gives a duck about Harry after he graduates, and he ends up spending the rest of his life bitter and working as a barista at Wizard Starbucks in Hogsmeade. He also spells everyone's name on their cup mudblood. The most realistic answer. Harry. D. Potter. If this makes Dolores Umbridge Big Mom, I totally support this. Who would be Shanks and Cato then? I kind of see Dumbledore as Whitebeard. That it was all the fantasy of Hedwig the entire time. She was just one poor lonely, bored and neglected owl kept in a small cage all her life, and a dream to keep from going insane and attacking her owners, as that would surely have her killed. She spent so long daydreaming, her own stories became contrived and convoluted. I can see it now, as well as the thousands of polarized fans either adoring the new angle and eating it right up or instantly being turned off of the entire franchise. Then how do you explain the existence of Book 7? Like most of her generation, Hedwig became obsessed with memes about wanting to die, and as such incorporated this aspect into her continuing fantasy. The goblins at Gringotts don't have children. They just randomly split one day during a mitosis-like process and then go about their days. Their suits are part of this process. Amazing. So I mean, goblins are really weird, so I'm not surprised. Fred and George were never twins. George perfected a double illusion technique while in utero so he could be more effective at pulling pranks. He got tired of maintaining the illusion and took the Battle of Hogwarts as an opportunity to end the illusion by killing Fred. How did he decide he was George, not Fred? Probably a coin flip. Nothing. Because I'm never going to be able to top what Clickhole has already done with this concept. The saga continues. J.K. Rowling has revealed that Harry Potter currently suffers from erectile dysfunction, which he treats using a proprietary blend of medicinal herbs available for $49.99 on Rowling's personal website. The saga continues. J.K. Rowling has revealed that every now and then the Sorting Hat would arbitrarily sort a kid onto the New York Mets. The saga continues. J.K. Rowling has revealed that she herself once snuck into Hogwarts to steal Snape's underwear and then sold it to perverts on Craigslist for $15 each. The saga continues. J.K. Rowling has revealed that after Harry's class graduated, Hagrid basically had no friends anymore, and when he died it took people 3 days to notice.